And I gotta say, to be honest, it's pretty good to be back. And I'm pretty repetitive, and I did the same thing last night with Flash. But so I just wanted to, before I get into my thoughts about tonight's episode, I just wanted to delve into what I've thought about Arrow this far, and talk about some issues I've had with the show up until this point. And for me, I was actually pretty hesitant in reviewing this season. Full disclosure, I was to be polite. I was really disappointed I was just really disappointed with season 3. So much wrong with it. The writing was all over the place. They forced too many characters in there. The whole Olicity thing. I mean, I've delved into it a lot in the past and talked about my issues, but with it being a new season, of course, I thought I should at least give it another chance. And I gotta say, so far in this one episode, I'm curious, and I'm not excited. I'm not about ready to give up. I'm in a neutral place right now. Of course, going into this season, because especially how last season ended so poorly, and considering they had such a lame Ra's al Ghul, and how he was even written badly, and he's a villain, and how you can't really do villains wrong, and they did a villain wrong. But it was just really disappointing, considering I've been such a huge supporter of Arrow up to this point. And even last season, up until the last few episodes, I was really saying hey, look, this is a good season, it's a good season. But I was really just fooling myself, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore, because the season wasn't even good. It was not a good season. I would say the first half is watchable. I would say it's at least decent. One of my favorite episodes of the show so far is actually the Flash and Arrow crossover, the Brave and the Bold episode. But other than that, and a few episodes here and there, I didn't like the season. I really didn't at all. Certain things I did enjoy about the season. I liked Laurel's characterization. She's now one of my favorite characters in the show, considering she was one of my least favorite characters in the show not too long ago. They really developed her character, and I liked her development in the last season. And her as Canary, I can tolerate it. I mean, I enjoy her. I enjoy her banter, and I like that they're actually developing her as Canary, as well as her own character, dealing with her own issues without being so whiny, and without dealing so much oh, woe is me, everyone, no one wants to be with me, blah blah blah. It's none of that bullshit. So to finally see her come into her own right as her character makes me happy as a fan. And even too, the same thing with Thea. I full disclosure, I hated Thea. Thea was probably my least favorite character in the show, and even up till most of season 3, I still didn't care for her. Especially when she was defending Malcolm Merlyn, and she would rather have a murderous psychopath train her and believe him and believe he's all high and mighty compared to her own brother. I didn't like that. I didn't even like Oliver's characterization last season. But okay, I'm straying from the point. But long story short, I'm in a weird place right now with Arrow, and with DC TV being as it is, with all their various shows coming out and coming back, we have Gotham, we have Flash. Flash has become my favorite show. And then there's Gotham, which I don't even know why I watch, to be honest. It's pretty bad. Well, there's redeeming things about it, but I have a lot of problems with that show. And then we got Supergirl coming out. We had Constantine, that was unfortunately canceled. I was pretty into for a bit. I mean, I didn't watch it live, unfortunately. I tried watching it live, and between all the different shows I was watching, I didn't give up. I just watched it late in the game, after it was canceled, unfortunately. But the fact that bringing it back in Arrow was exciting me. Again, I'm straying from what I'm actually trying to say here. Again, I'm just in a really weird place with Arrow. So going into the season premiere, my hopes were probably about as low as they can get. The episode itself probably was about my expectations, except for a couple things here and there that they didn't address that would probably be addressed in the next episode. I liked how Oliver was in this episode. I'll say that. Again, he's being... It's hard for me to say how I feel, because Oliver was written so terribly in the last few episodes last season because like they tried to make it like a twist that like, ooh, Oliver was actually good the entire time, but it's like it wasn't good writing, and they didn't handle the writers didn't handle that well at all. And it's just Oliver became such a dark character. Like for the longest time, I was defending that the show wasn't a Batman ripoff, and last season towards the end was a Batman ripoff. I mean, I gotta admit it. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, like so basically like the show is almost cleansing itself of its past mistakes, and I can see that in this episode where they're trying to show a different side of Oliver that we haven't seen before, and that he's a little more lighthearted. It's not just a drastic jump from where he was. I mean, I didn't really care for him like doing all the cooking and being, you know, like the house husband that he was in the beginning of the episode, because that was boring, and I agree with Felicity that was boring. But seeing how being the Arrow and being that dark person that he's been the entire series has affected him, I liked how there's that now he's like, well, I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to kill, you know. So seeing that was actually pretty nice. I'm glad the whole Olicity thing, yes, they're together now, but I'm glad that's not all up in your face like it was last season. Now it's there, but it's like, okay, like it's simmered down a little bit. It's still there, but it's calmed down a lot. I'm not sure how I felt about Thea in this episode. Thea was just weird and kind of, her character was kind of all over the place. It wasn't good, wasn't bad. It was just meh, like nothing. She didn't do anything for me, so I'll see how that plays out. Laurel, I liked Laurel's relationship with her dad in this episode. Seeing that it's definitely progressed from how bad it was, how low it was, you know, mid-season last year, and now getting to that point where her dad clearly has issues with the whole her being Canary and the Team Arrow thing, but he tolerates it, and I like how there is that progression. He still has reserved feelings about her doing what she's doing, but at the same time he's trying to have a good relationship with his daughter, and I like seeing that. So there's all that stuff, and then the flashbacks so far they didn't do anything like at all. It's just showing Oliver in Coast City, which is, I mean, that in itself was kind of cool because, you know, like for comic book fans, that's like where Green Lantern is, and actually in that bar you see a guy wearing a fighter pilot's jacket with the name Jordan on it. I thought that was kind of a cool little reference cameo thing. That was pretty cool. And seeing Amanda Waller back was actually pretty nice because I thought they were kind of done with their character. Because to me, it felt like all the Suicide Squad characters they had to just toss aside because of the Suicide Squad movie, like they killed off Deadshot, and pretty much all the interesting characters that were from the Argus/Suicide Squad side of Arrow. So it's nice seeing Amanda Waller back. And finally, Oliver is getting back on the island. That's what I've been waiting for. Last season, the flashbacks fucking sucked. I hated the flashbacks. They were so boring, and they did nothing to further their Oliver's character development. They didn't show anything interesting whatsoever. I could really care less about the family aspect of it, of like, you know, Katana and her family. I could care less. Even like her kid dying, like I felt no emotional weight because they ruined it like halfway through the season. Like, so that it wasn't even anything, like, I don't know, I just didn't like that. So starting in a place where the flashbacks haven't told us anything yet, other than the fact that Oliver's going back to the island. That's what I'm looking forward to. I really hope that this season so far gets back to where it was, even in season 1. I'm not saying it has to be as good as season 2, which to me is a pretty high pedestal, because season 2 has so far been one of my favorite seasons of TV ever. If they can get at least to where season 1 was, in terms of quality and writing, for the most part, other than Laurel and a couple other characters. If they can go back to me and how it was ranked in season 1, I'll be satisfied as a fan. Even if it's almost up there, I'll be satisfied. So I guess it's a wait and see thing. So there's a lot to go on about this episode, but I don't want to rant on forever because it's just a lot of it's gonna be me ranting about me being worried about the season. But there were some things in the episode that I did enjoy. I like the fact that Cisco made Oliver's suit. I mean, I saw that coming, but still, it's kind of nice knowing that Cisco was the one who upgraded the Green Arrow suit. But ultimately, one of the things that did bother me most about the episode was the fact that Oliver made such the quick jump of, you know, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be that dark person anymore. To be like, oh, I'm just going to suit up again as Green Arrow. No one's going to recognize me from the Arrow, but, you know, Green Arrow. And then the whole speech thing, I have mixed feelings about it. And it's cool that he's finally Green Arrow, but, like, it's just another thing that didn't do anything for me. That's how I feel like this episode was for me. It just didn't really do a whole lot for me. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes. I'm curious to see how they handle Damien Darhk, because I think Neil McDonough, or whatever, how you pronounce his name, I think he's a great actor, and I'm really excited for him being Damien Darhk, and an obscure DC character that most of us don't even know about. I barely know anything about. All my knowledge of him comes from Arrow, but it'll be cool seeing that and Hive and seeing Oliver and Diggle's relationship if it gets fixed anytime soon. Or I mean, I hope it's not like a quick fix thing. We're just swept under the rug and then that's it. I really hope it's not like that kind of thing. So there's that, and what else is there? Another thing I enjoyed was actually Lila trying to talk down to Diggle, because Diggle's biggest thing against Oliver was the fact that he threatened his wife and endangered the life of his child, and even Lila's gotten to the point where like he did what he thought he had to do. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but seeing her, she's like, I can move on. It's time for you to move on. And he was like, well, Lila, you're better than me, so there's that. I mean, that was just kind of nice. And even Lila, who Diggle got, she's the reason why, you know, and that's not her fault, but I'm just saying, like, because of what happened to her, that's why he's so angry with Oliver. And to see her being able to move on, should at least tell him, like, hey, like, if I can move on, because I'm the one he kidnapped, I'm the one he threatened, if I can move on, you should be able to move on, especially since you're his best friend. You're the one he trusts more than anyone. At least that's what she implied. So there's that. So I gotta say, the one thing I liked most about the episode was a final scene where it jumps 6 months later to a funeral of a character we don't know who it is, and it's just Oliver standing there, and Barry comes in, and they're having that exchange of dialogue. I assume it's Felicity, and to be honest, there's a point where actually I kind of hoped it was Felicity. No, but I mean, because of how last season was, and because of how the writers handled Felicity and all that, I didn't care for Felicity anymore. In this episode, she's slowly getting back to how she was, at least in season 2 for me. But it's going to take a lot for me to get back on the season as a whole, but her specifically, it'll take some time for me to get back to how I was in liking her character. So I hope that death is handled pretty well. Whoever it is, I assume it's Felicity. I would be surprised if it was, you know, Laurel or Thea or something. I mean, if it's Thea, I'm gonna be mad because I'm tired of them killing and not killing and bringing back characters, you know, mainly Sarah. But yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Not a lot going on in this episode. I mean, yeah, there's like the whole like twist of like, you know, Laurel's dad working for Damien Darhk. I don't know how to feel about that. This whole episode is kind of like meh for me. I mean, it's not a bad episode, but it's not a great episode. I'm just curious to see how things go and how the writers actually handle Oliver now that he is Green Arrow. So there's that to look forward to, I guess. But I sound like such a Debbie Downer right now. But I mean, it's just, I'm trying to be optimistic, but given the circumstances, I'm cautiously optimistic about the season. So that would be it, I guess, for me, guys. So I guess if you guys like what I'm saying, if you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe. You know, I review Arrow and Flash every week as long as Arrow is good. I review comic book movies from time to time, and there's not a whole lot coming out. So, but more than likely, I'll be reviewing movies in the fall or the winter, like Star Wars and stuff. So keep your eye out for that stuff. In the meantime, if you guys are interested in what I have to say, there's my Arrow and Flash reviews that I'll be doing consistently. So yeah, I guess that'll be it from me, guys. So until next time, have a good one.